Hi, this is Jesson Sarda from Diet 60 and welcome to the contemporary world. Today we are talking about better environment, better tomorrow. World keeps on evolving, so as our ways keeps on changing, and that change has something to do with our environment. So what are we going to do? For we humans are being entitled to be a good steward of God's creations. Are we going to say yes to all the changes or to no the totally of it? For our environment is not only for us, but also for our future generation. So lend me your eyes and ears, for we are about to look deep into our nature in order for us to understand everything better. So, globalization can be defined as the process of interaction of people on a global scale. It often leads to an increase in overall living standards for people. However, it also has some downsides. First is to increase transport of goods. One of the primary results of globalization is that it opens businesses up to new markets in which they can sell goods and source labor, raw materials, and components. Both of these realities mean finished products travel farther now than ever before, potentially halfway around the globe. In the past, products were more likely to be produced, sold, and consumed more locally. This increased transport of goods can impact the environment in several ways, including increased emission. The farther a product travels, the more fuel is consumed, and a greater level of greenhouse gas emissions is produced. These emissions contribute to pollution, climate change, and ocean acidification around the world and have been shown to significantly impact biodiversity. Habitat destruction, transportation, especially when land base requires infrastructure like roads and bridges. The development of such infrastructure can lead to issues including habitat loss and pollution. It's worth noting that at approximately 70% of all freight all transported by ship, according to a report by the International Transport Forum, the more ships that travel by sea, the greater the chances for major oil spills or less the damage the delicate marine environment. Second is the economic specialization. One of overlooked side effect of globalization is that it allows nations and geographical regions to focus on their economic strengths, content in knowing they can turn to trading partners for goods they don't produce themselves. This economic specialization often boosts productivity and efficiency. Unfortunately, over-specialization can lead to serious environmental issues, often in the form of habitat loss, devastations, or natural resource overuse. A few examples include illegal deforestation in Brazil due to an increase in the country's cattle ranching operations, which requires significant land for grazing, overfishing in coastal areas that includes Southeast Asia, which has significantly contributed to reduce fish populations and oceanic pollutions. Over-dependency on cash crops such as coffee, cacao, and various fruits, which has contributed to habitat loss, especially in tropical climates. Third is the decreased biodiversity, increased greenhouse gas emissions. Ocean acidification, deforestation, and other forms of habitat loss or destructions, climate change, and the introduction of invasive species all work to reduce biodiversity around the globe. According to the World Wildlife Fund's recent Living Planet report, the population sizes of all organisms, including mammals, birds, fish, amphibians, and reptiles, have decreased 68% since 1970. Latin America and Africa, two rapidly developing regions important to global trade, have seen disproportionate levels and biodiversity loss, especially among environmental sensitive fish, reptiles, and amphibians. While this decrease in biodiversity has many causes,
It's widely believed that the issues listed above have contributed in part.
Therefore, although an increase in average incomes seems to be a good thing, it can also lead to vast environmental problems if people are not spending this additional income in a responsible manner. So, everyone, let us all hold our hands together towards preserving the beautiful of nature. Besides, it is our only home and provider. Thus, we must put in mind that our earth provides enough to satisfy every man's need but not every man's greed. We must not allow that our children and children's children will no longer see how wonderful and precious our earth was. So, we must do what we are supposed to do. If not now, then when? If not us, then who? So it is not just a reminder, but an order to take actions before it's too late. The betterment of environment lies in our hand. In a parting world, I say before we say yes, no, keep nurturing our world.